Thank you all so much for being here this evening. My name is Nicole McCoy. I'm the Director of Virtual Campus Life here at Post University. Very excited to be hosting How to Start a Small Business. This program is sponsored by our amazing online accounting club, and it is going to be headed by the chair of our marketing department, Art Mullengarden. So I am going to pass it over to Art.
Art Mullengarden, program chair of the marketing program. I want to welcome everyone to what looks like is going to be the first, maybe an inaugural sort of an event that has to do with small business management. How do you start a small business? And we're going to be going through a bunch of different sort of exercises today. And hopefully you're going to walk away with 2 or 3 important takeaways. Hopefully that you could even maybe apply to your own business, right? So, but we're joined today with a couple of folks that I'm going to introduce. Autumn Almazi. And Autumn happens to be a postgraduate. And she also just happened to have started her own business coming up on a year ago here in Connecticut. And we're going to hear from Autumn, and she's going to talk a little bit about her experience, what motivated her, what challenges, what opportunities did she have. So hold on, Autumn's going to jump in a moment. And of course, my friend Brandon Monte, who is also a post person, he headed up our Entrepreneur Center. At one point in time, the university actually had a center of entrepreneurship, which helped folks, starting up their business ideas, funding, financing, legal, all the different aspects that's involved. And Brandon was the director of that. So guys, hold on. What we think is going to be a pretty fun ride. The number is growing. We have what I believe to be about 160 folks who RSVP'd. They're gonna join. So the idea is that we want to get as much interaction as we can. You guys are the star of the show, not only us. And I want to start by asking a question. In the chat, I hope everyone's familiar with using the chat feature in Teams. Could you guys just put down where in the United States are you calling in from? Are you in New York or in Wyoming, California, Connecticut? Where are you guys?
Kentucky.
And I'd love to see New Orleans, Kentucky,
Tennessee.
Michigan, Texas, Bristol, Connecticut. Look at
My
that.
favorite place.
Now, I think you
Hello.
guys could actually see the chat as well. Hello from Florida. Hello to you as well. Allison, Atlanta, Savannah. Your name sounds familiar, Savannah from Pennsylvania. And I see somebody, I couldn't read it. It went fast.
Georgia.
Where in New York City? Because I'm a New York City boy. Arizona, upstate New York. Love it, love it, love it.
New Mexico, Kentucky. Wow, this is great.
Look at all this.
Las Vegas.
Vegas,
So,
Boston.
guys, if you look around of where, my goodness, New Mexico, and look at that, Dwayne, thank you, stationed in Germany. Dwayne, I'm hearing or I'm reading it says stationed in Germany. Do I presume that you're in the military? And if you are, sir, I just thank you for your service and for anyone else who served. Maryland, go, Crystal, I can't tell, go picture or something. Okay, yes, thank you. Thank you, Dwayne. Guys, you have all expressed some degree of interest in starting a business. And when we looked at the discussion boards in Blackboard, we saw a range of interests that said, it's my fantasy, it's my dream, or I have a plan, or I'm actually in my own business. So there's a wide range, but I want to get something clear to you. That number, 500 million, you are not doing this alone. Because according to the U.S. Census Bureau in 2023, which is the most current information that they have, 500,000 businesses were formed. So you are not going through this alone, right? However, I'm going to talk a little bit about what we call the entrepreneurial mindset. Most businesses swim in a sea of sameness. And I want you to take a moment just to think, when you swim in the sea of sameness, it's not easy to say. What does that even mean? The school of fish turns to the right, everybody turns to the right. The school of fish turns to the left and everybody goes that direction. But some don't. And I'd like you to please, in the chat, name a business that you're familiar with. It could be as big as Apple. It could be as small as the corner supermarket. Name a business that you think is not swimming in a sea of sameness. A business that does it differently. Customer service, price, availability, distribution. They do business just a little bit different. So please, I'd love to see. Vizette says I have two different businesses of mine. Never okay, right? Mary Kay,
Mary Kay,
love,
yeah.
love Mary Kay, and the purple. Is it pink?
The pink,
The pink.
the pink Cadillac.
Thank you, Autumn. The pink Cadillac, Barnes and Noble. Start looking at these, the names that you guys are putting in here. Barnes and Noble. Some of these are big. Aldi. I mean, this is going faster
Look
than
at
I could read it.
Chick-fil-A.
But what about these brands? What about them? Because Amazon sells a lot of stuff that other people sell. Well, why did we go? Yesterday, I made an order for Amazon, backed up by literally by an order today. Why didn't I go to the store and get it? Is it a different item that I order, or is it something unique? Now we know that Amazon certainly has a proprietary. They have some product that they make for themselves by themselves, but the overwhelming majority, they're selling somebody else's goods. Amazon doesn't do anything different to the product. However, they do something different the way you get the product. And there it is. See, quick shipping and large availability, convenience. Walmart.
Mhm.
Does anyone know, and you could please use this chat, what is Walmart's slogan? Why are they not swimming in a sea of sameness? What's their logo? Their slogan. They're making you a promise. Save money, live better. They're promising you an implied promise that if you shop at their store, you can have a better life. Now, whether that's true or not, or whether they can support that is a second story. But they're actually making this implied promise. Always low prices, save money, live better. Thank you, Mitney. Give me some other ones. The same thing, Dollar General. Now, tell me about Trader Joe's. What is there, what we say, I'll say this in a funny way, what's their shtick? What Trader Joe's? What is it? Are you guys familiar that the owner of Trader Joe's has a brother? I think one that both over 90 years old, literally over 90 years old now. I think one passed away recently. Trader Joe's is owned by, well, one of the brothers. You know what the other Trader Joe's owns? Aldi. And the argument is, do we think that Aldi's pasta and Aldi's spaghetti sauce and Aldi's whatever is different than Trader Joe's? Or is it just the bottle in the box? You wonder what is it that makes them swim in a different sea? So it's not the sea. And I would ask, can you apply that to your business? Can you say, if I'm going to be an internet, a social media influencer, if I'm going to sell shoes, if I'm going to be a hairstylist, I'm going to sell cars, whatever, how do you differentiate yourself from the market? What are you going to do that's going to make customers spend their good money at your establishment over someone else? And that's the sea of sameness, right? In school, most, if not all you good folks are students. If you ever took a marketing course, which I think you all should, you would understand this thing called a commodity. It's the same thing no matter where you get it. So what makes you want to go to that location? So I want to spend a minute. I'm going to give you guys a chance to catch up. What this saying means. It's a pretty famous marketing saying. And it talks about that consumers, they don't buy drill bits. They buy ways to make holes. So my friend Anthony happens to be in the control room for us right now. I'm looking at him waving, hello, Anthony, right? I want to take a picture of Anthony and I want to hang him in my living room. That's pretty random, right? Well, I've got to make a hole for the hook to hang the picture of Anthony. I need a drill bit. The little bit that spins on my drill, not the drill, but the little thing that spins that makes the hole. I'm going to go to Home Depot. And what am I looking to buy, folks? Please use the chat. What do you think I went to Home Depot? What's my goal? Why am I getting up to go to Home Depot? It is not to buy the drill bit. It's to make a hole. So if you can understand that theory, I'm going to apply it to one of my businesses that I've had in my long past. I don't know if you guys remember video rental stores like Blockbuster. I had a fairly large chain of stores throughout Connecticut, and I used to compete with Blockbuster. And we rented movies, and that's all we really did. And the movie, somebody, one of you good folks that are online, I don't know how many we've got online, but somebody write down, it looks like there's 66. Could somebody name a movie? Just name a movie. Cinderella, Top Gun, I don't care, name a movie. Men in Black was the first one. If you went to one of my locations, is the movie Men in Black the same movie that Blockbuster had, or that you got from the library, or you got from any other rental store? How could I possibly get you to come into one of my locations and rent that movie from me when you could get the identical movie in another location, somewhere in one of my competitors? It's not like pizza. Pizza's thin crust, it's better cheese, it's got more sausage, it's different, but not a movie. I was in the most commoditized business that exists on this earth, a movie. Because we realized early on, and this goes back to 1981 and 1982 when I started, that's how far back I go. We realized that people didn't rent movies. We understood that people wanted to be entertained. They had a really good day at work. They want to go home and rent a movie and laugh. They just broke up with their mate and they want a tearjerker romantic movie that they want to cry. Whatever their motivation was, they wanted to be entertained. One of you good people, please write down, how do you think we entertained them? What did we do? I know they didn't want to rent. I mean, they were there to rent a movie. Duh, I get that. But what was it? How could I differentiate myself from a world-class company like Blockbuster? They were around the world. I was only in Connecticut. How could I motivate you to come to my place? Different types of promotion. You can make advertisements, all of those things. Keep on going the way you advertise. And I believe it was Jasmine who mentioned it was the customer experience. When you walked into one of my stores, we trained the managers who trained the crew, know everyone's name. We also had to know how much that customer spent in the past year. Because even back then, we had computers at checkout. And as soon as somebody would come in, Brandon would come into a store, not just as an example. Hey, Brandon, how's it going? What, blah, blah, blah. In the bottom on the right-hand corner, it showed how much money that customer spent in movie rentals in the past 12 months. Do you think we treated that customer different than the first customer who never came in, that was the first time around? What do you guys think about that? Because we've had some pretty serious psychological talks about this in my company. John, you said it right. It's yes and no. Because I'll tell you, I've got credit cards, I've got subscriptions, I've got mortgages, I've got business with a lot of different businesses. And why is it that when I see an advertisement that's built around, if you're a new customer, you get this for free, but if you're a regular customer, you don't get any discount at all? Do you not care about my business? So we're going to get into this concept of understanding how much business is generated by your customers, right? So what I just got to describing, folks, in the world of marketing is called USP, not UPS. That's not a typo. And that means, and I hope you guys could kind of burn this into your business thinking, and it's called, what is your unique selling proposition? What is it about your product or service that you sell that's different from the competition? My movies were different, not because they were funnier and not because they were longer or sadder. It's because of the experience that we gave. You want to be entertained, so we had real popcorn machines in each store. with the butter and the pop and the smell. And we never charged a nickel. We would never charge a penny for it. Everybody got free popcorn. We want you to be, and I used to spend roughly $10,000 a year on popcorn between fixing the machines and cleaning the machines and whatever. But the idea is, the whole point was we want to entertain. So part of my unique selling proposition was the experience, right? What could a unique selling proposition for your business be? And maybe a good way to get started to continue this before I turn it on to these good folks is, what are some of the businesses that you guys are thinking about starting?
That's a good question.
Dwayne talks about psychological influences, needs, perceptions. Did you write a book on marketing, sir? That's perfect, right? Perfect. Eatery. Look at that. A natural history shop. I'd love to hear more about that. Maybe offline, my own bakery. Thank you, Pearl. I love cupcakes, right? Horse-human relationship. I love it. That whole equine, right? Adolescent psychology. Look at all the different businesses. Childcare, daycare, sailing. My goodness, right? So
An event center.
what, but I'm going to use one. April, I hope you don't mind, only because yours just popped onto the screen. It talks about a wedding venue. There are a lot of wedding venues. How could April make her wedding venue the one to go to? That's the one. Because they have clean tablecloths? Because they have a DJ? You mean you don't have a clean table? You mean you don't have good food? There are so many expectations that people come take for granted. What can you do in your business that pushes past the basic mediocrity of just like perfect food, the store opens on time, and everything is clean? Duh. Okay. Now what? How do you really set yourself apart? And that's where that unique selling proposition comes from. So I'm going to ask you this question, and this is going to be a hard one to think about. What is the customer's pain? In the world of entrepreneurship, clearly in the world of marketing, we talk about the customer's pain. In video, their pain was they wanted to be entertained. And it's not the kind of pain that somebody pinches you and go, ow. No, it's not that pain. What problem can you solve that the customer is looking for? If you buy a Louis bag, does everybody know what a Louis bag is? Louis Vuitton. What is your pain? Why is it thousands of dollars to buy a Louis bag? Because the handle is better? Because it's a better zipper? Their pain is because I've got a Louis bag and you don't. And by the way, I don't have a Louis bag. Why would anybody buy a 200 miles per hour Maserati or a Lamborghini? Because they're going to drive 200 miles an hour. Is that why? You can't go 200 miles an hour on any highway. You'll, God forbid, have an accident. It's because I have a Lamborghini and you don't. By the way, I don't have a Lamborghini either.
Close to it, though.
Close to it. But the issue is, what is your customer's pain? We started to understand that way back in 81, and we understood that they wanted to be entertained. So guess what we did? If we knew they wanted to be entertained, what do you think we did? We entertained them. That's all we did, right? And then the simple paradigm is, if you know what their pain is, do you represent the right value? If their pain is convenience, the gas station, I want something close by. Are you the close one to a density of population where there's enough cars to justify another gas station? Is it time, overnight delivery, free delivery? If that's what the customer wants, are you able to satisfy that? What about the experience? I'll go back to the video. It was all about the experience, nothing but the experience, right? And the price. You guys could imagine that the price doesn't have to be the lowest price. As a matter of fact, I was always about 10 or so % higher than my competition. Now, how could I possibly do that? Would you pay $7 for a gallon of gas? Not yet. Not if I get it for $4. But why would you pay more to get that same movie in my place? Why? Because we gave value, because we understood what the pain was. somebody brand loyalty experience. You guys are getting it. Are you understanding the connection between doing the research to understand what their pain is? What is it that they want here? And then do you represent what those people want? And this could be, I forgot the gal's name who wants to do a bakery, or it could be the wedding venue. It could be any one of those things. But all of our target markets have pain. They want something. How do you position your service to satisfy their pain? I think I have one more to do, and then I'm going to turn it over to Autumn so you could finally hear a real world, current, like today, now business, right? Customer lifetime value. I touched upon it just that little bit. When this customer came into the store in the videos, I knew, and every one of the staff understood how much that person spent. In your own mind, you're not going to have time to do it right now, but in your own mind, please think about how much you have spent in your cell phone every month. Multiply that times 12. Here's the formula. How much do you spend every month? There are 12 months out of the year. Get out the calculator, not now, and multiply. And tell me, how many years have you been paying for your cell phone? But you're not done. How many more years will you be paying for your cell phone? Do the same thing for car insurance. Do the same thing for Starbucks. How much do you spend every day when you go to Dunkin' or Starbucks or wherever? How many days a week do you do it? How many weeks are there in a year? And then tell me how many years. From a consumer standpoint, it's scary. It's tens of thousands of dollars. But from a marketer's position, I'm going to finish with this. From a business owner's position, it's all about customer lifetime value. How can we continue to make, and somebody mentioned, John mentioned brand loyalty. How do we continue? How much do you pay Apple every month, every year? How many years have you done that? How many more years will you do it? They get it. Believe me, they get it. That's why they tipped upon last week the most valuable company in the world. I think they slid back to number 2 this week. But think about your business and how do you get that brand loyalty based on your service, based on satisfying their need, and how do you capitalize on that? This is gold to a business owner. It's probably not a happy thought to think about how much we all spend for our Louis Vuitton handbags in our lifetime, right? But Louis Vuitton knows how much we spend for their handbags. I'm going to take a breath, give you guys a chance to catch up, and I'm going to turn it over to my friend Autumn. Autumn has started a business called Connecticut Kids Passport. And with that, Autumn, explain what the heck Connecticut Kids Passport is.
Yes. So welcome, everybody. Thank you guys for joining. It's good to see you guys utilizing the chat because it helps us gauge like how we're going to, handle the conversation moving forward. So as a postgraduate, years ago, I always knew I kind of wanted to have a business. I really just didn't know what that concept was going to look like. Fast forward, married, 3 kids later, stay-at-home mom, don't really have the time to open a brick and mortar. I wanted to kind of do something from home. Once you put your vision into your daily life of what am I doing every day, that is entertaining my children. That is my purpose as a stay-at-home mom, is to keep them busy, to keep them focused, to keep them educated, and to be doing stuff with them. So I used to work prior to me being a stay-at-home mom, I worked at a winery local to Connecticut, and they had the Wine Trail Passport. So I don't know if any of you who are local of Connecticut, hi, Michelle, that are local to Connecticut here, but they had a Wine Trail Passport. And then fast forward, I had kids and I'm like, oh my God, I have kids now and there's still no passport for like families. So they had a beer trail, they had an art trail. And I'm like, okay, so we're missing something here. So, once you put yourself in the shoes of having children, you're realizing, okay, we're missing something where they have all these other things for adults, but they don't have anything for children. So that was the number one thing that I wanted to help families with is giving them a fun way to travel through our state and give them discounts, which is going to help them save money. So October is going to be a year for our program.
Woohoo!
Yes, it was very nerve-wracking. I feel like there were a lot of people like, you know, I don't know, banking on it working, and I felt like I just had to make it happen. So not only for the people that were involved, but for, you know, myself and for the other parents out there local to Connecticut. So this is my website. If you guys want to go on as we're kind of you know, going through this, I know Brandon is gonna come in afterwards, and we're gonna do a little bit of like a Q&A type of thing. You know, I always say to myself, you know, when you're thinking about starting a business, it's not just like, oh, I need a website and I need a logo, and you know, that's your branding. What is your business? So, you know, the first thing like I think about is, what problem am I solving? Am I solving a problem for somebody? Because if you're not, that business, it may last a little bit, but it's not going to be longevity. So I think what's most important is when you're thinking of a business, what am I filling? Is it something emotional? Is it physical? Is it, you know, getting them out of the house? Are you spending money? Are you saving money? Those are the things that you have to look for. You know, when, again, being a stay-at-home mom, all I kept hearing is, I want to save money. I want to go do things with my kids, but everything's so expensive. So that was just the green light in my head. I'm like, all right, well, I'm going to solve that problem, and I'm going to create a passport program that's going to give families the opportunity to travel throughout Connecticut and visit all these places at a discounted rate. So that is the first thing when you are looking to start a business, is what is the problem you are solving? If you are not solving that problem, I suggest you change how you're going to move forward in the business. Number two, who am I solving it for? Who is the market that you are going after? Is it children? Is it parents? Is it elder people? Like, you have to know who that market is going to be. Sorry, we just got muted for a second. So for me, it was really just looking for busy parents who are looking to get out in Connecticut and do things with their kids. I want to say that you are not going to have all the answers to before you start your business. You know, everybody, you know, even when I was talking to Art, you know, I was saying, hey, Art, I'm going to be starting this business and yada, yada. And he's like, oh, do you have a business plan? And I'm like, a business plan? I have an idea of what I'm going to do, but it's like, I'm going to roll with it. And I don't have all my questions answered, and I don't have your A to Z figured out. I just kind of rolled with it, and, you know, let's see what happens. So I think number two is, who am I solving the problem? Who is it for? Next should be, why should people care? People buy with emotion. I want, like TikTok, it's genius.
Yep.
People buy off of emotion. They have FOMO, okay?
Mm.
FOMO is the biggest thing that like I've seen, especially with social media, is if you have like this dumpling thing that like the kids are like, if my kid doesn't have it, they're like, well, so-and-so has it. They have FOMO. They're missing out on that experience.
Yep.
So for me, creating the passport, it's, okay, I want the families to have FOMO, so that way they buy my program, and then they're going to go out and enjoy all of these different activities with their children or their, you know, family. So you're also trying to sell them on more like, yes, okay, like you want them to have an initial, like, I need to have this. I don't want to think about it. I don't want to have to like click on 14 different things to get to where I'm going to buy it. It's got to be an instant satisfaction. I'm going to get it. I'm going to buy this product, and that's it. So I think you should be thinking about, like, what emotion are you selling? And once you figure that emotion, you're going to then build out your entire social media. Your marketing campaign is going to be built off of the emotion. You're not selling the passport. You are selling the emotion that goes along with having the passport. I'm helping parents save money. I'm tired of my kids saying, oh my God, what are we going to do today? You're giving your grandparents, hey, go take the kids for the day. Okay, then that gives mom and dad a chance to relax. The kids are out of the house for the day. They get to go do something. You have to find the emotion that you are selling for. So that is very important when thinking about starting a business. Next is, how am I going to make money? How is your business going to generate revenue?
Mhm.
You cannot think that that product alone is going to be how you're making money. You know, when I think about, you know, the gal that said the wedding venue, that's amazing. Wedding venues, they're great. What else can you do besides having a wedding? Are you going to be hosting events? Can you be hosting paint workshops that are going to be happening?
Hmm.
Can you be hosting different things that are going to be a stream of revenue? Yes, does weddings bring you in probably the most revenue? Sure, they do. But there are going to be other things that you can be looking to generate some of that revenue. So when I look at my business model, obviously I have the passport sales. That is going to be the most important thing for me, is making sure I am selling. The next thing is going to be is my business partnerships. Who are those people that are going to trust in my brand, trust in my vision of what I'm going to promise them that I'm doing, and thinking about sponsorship. So we have, when I launched my passport, we had a big launch party. So if you're going to be opening a restaurant or whatever it may be, have a big party that's going to associate it. Do I have a brick and mortar? No, I do not. Did I pick a location to go and launch this party? Yes, I did. I had 742 people show up.
Wow.
I was astonished. I thought I was going to have like
Wow.
200 people. 100, I would have been like, let's go for it. 742. Jumping forward now to this year, we're going to be expected over 1,500 people at
Wow.
our next one.
Wow.
So that just goes to show that when you're associating yourself with other partnerships, we got sponsored this year by a bank. We got sponsored by a car dealership. You know, you have to use your resources and the people around you. And how can I associate that business with me? How can I brand in art? I would have never had this if I never reached out to art and said, hey, listen, this is what I'm doing. This is what I'm going to be into, so on and so forth. You have to use those resources on what you're going to do. So how is that going to make you money? Okay, I'm here with Art today. Is there someone on this live who's here from Connecticut who's going to then go on after this and buy my passport, or tell somebody, hey, I saw this. This is really cool. You should look into it. Maybe this live is going to generate revenue, but you have to think about all the different ways you're going to make money. You have to spell that out, because that's most important. It wasn't just the sales of the passport that I knew that was going to bring me money. It was going to be events throughout the year that I'm hosting, the sponsorship opportunities, and the collaborations. Most importantly, collaborations, content creators. I don't know if you follow the whole, you know, CT visit and the whole content creator connection that's happening here in Connecticut, but it is massive. If you have a business that you are starting, I suggest you research some of the content creators that are in your state and utilize them. Most of them, yes, they're going to charge money, but a lot of them will do it for free. If you say, hey, I'm going to send you out to this place and I'm going to do this and this and this for you. Yeah. Are you going to spend a little money? Maybe, but their, you know, 4,000 or 15 or 30,000 followers are going to make you even more than what you're paying that one creator. So keep that in mind, that as, you know, the social media and all of that is growing tremendously, to connect with some of those people and really use them. The next thing is, what do I need to start? Is it going to be, you know, yes, do you have to have a website? I think you should for a lot of this. Some of it you don't need to. If you have a TikTok shop, you don't need it. But it really just depends on what you're doing. I don't suggest you open up a restaurant and don't have a website, because people need to see
Right.
what is it that you're selling. Sure, you can put a couple pictures of your menu, but that I wouldn't choose that. That's not. So you have to make sure from A to Z that you are going to sit there and figure out, what do I need to start my business with? And for some, it's going to be very minimal. For the people who have brick and mortars, yeah, you're going to have a lot more you're going to have to invest. But don't think you have to have every single laptop and iPad and this and that figured out. Go with the flow. Everything is going to work out. As long as you have a plan and you have an end goal of where you want to be, these steps are going to be able to help generate that business for you.
Wow.
Thank you, Autumn.
Well,
Sorry,
Will,
that's a lot, but
No.
it's yeah.
so, you know, I'm going to turn it over in a minute to Brandon, but I
Yep.
think what I just heard from Autumn was that it's not only the product itself. It's everything that surrounds the product. I used to say that, people told me, this is a hypothetical story, that I make the best cupcakes in the world. Nobody makes better cupcakes. Every time I went to a party or a holiday, Art, you make great, you should open up. Is that enough for me to have a successful bakery? What else? Do I need location? Do I need price? Do I need style? It's not just the cupcake, because a lot of people make good cupcakes. Now what? So you got great cupcakes. Now what do you do, right? And I think that's what you've done. All these other ancillary, like if you think of it on a punch list or priority, that's a list that's this long. It's
Right.
not just
You're always
things.
going to have a bunch of things you want to accomplish with that. But, and another quick point to this is, what is that end long-term goal for you? Like, yes, I want to start this business. Yes, I want to start selling cupcakes, but what is selling cupcakes going to do for you? What is your 5-year? What is your 10-year going to look like? For me, for this program, for all the other states, I just want you to know, we're going to be coming to other states. That is the long-term goal. The long-term goal was not to stay in Connecticut. My goal is to branch this out into other states. Yes, other parents need to know that you have this opportunity there. So yes, am I thinking small by starting with Connecticut? Of course. I have to get this a well-oiled machine before I'm moving on to the next. But you have to have that end goal of what is that going to be?
So, and thank you, right? So the next phase of this thing is there is a product that I believe was sent to you guys to confirm your invitation. And you were sent a file that's titled, a business model canvas. And there's 9 different elements of it. And what we thought, because we're all educators here, right? So we thought it would make sense to take Autumn's business and let Brandon, who's a business model canvas extraordinaire, apply her business to the canvas, populate the canvas with Autumn's business, so you could see what she's done in real terms. That's our goal anyway. Let's hope we can pull it off. We've never done this before. Let's see if it works.
And I remember, under promise and over deliver.
There you go. Ladies and gentlemen, Brandon Monte.
Well, thank you, Art, for inviting me, and thank you, Autumn. It's always refreshing to be with entrepreneurs, and we're all entrepreneurs here, and so there's probably you can have theory, but when it's kind of like the Mike Tyson quote, right? Everyone has a plan until you get punched in the mouth. It's like when you become an entrepreneur, you'll get punched not once, not twice, but 100,000 times. And you keep getting up and finally get something that's off the ground. And so, everyone on the call today, just, take this in, because there's incredible entrepreneurs that are just doing great things. And I think if you listen intently and take notes, you're going to be able to apply what's being said here today to your business. And if you can, in the chat, type a 1 if you have a business, want to start a business, or are thinking about starting a business in the future. So type a 1 in the chat. Let's just see how many people here want to start a business. Let's see.
Look at them all.
Look at them all populate. It's great. It's fantastic.
Do it.
Yeah.
As this thing populates, I got to share a famous quote. I love it. I didn't make it up, but I kind of live it. It's, I'm an entrepreneur. I see things that other people don't see.
You do.
It's called opportunities.
Yeah.
I didn't make that up, by the way.
But I always have a few artisms in my back pocket. And Art shared one of his artisms that I always remember, and I teach everyone. I remember standing next to him, and he looked at me. He was in his office, and he told me, Brandon, in this office, I am the greatest teacher ever, until I step outside my office and recognize I'm one of many. And so you always have opportunity to grow. And even if you think your idea is the greatest, you got to step outside of your comfort zone and recognize competition is coming at you hard. They want to eat your lunch. And so what we're going to talk about today is going to really help you identify the business that you want to start. And it's going to help you organize everything into bite-sizable ways that help you do what you want to do quicker and more efficient. And also, as you go along in the process of building a business, you're going to do something that is just going to become a part of your routine. It's called pivoting and iterating. And so the business model canvas is a great tool that you can use to pivot quickly and to be efficient about it. And there's this saying that a lot of entrepreneurs hear, it's fail fast. And so there's a lot of entrepreneurs in this call. So fail as fast as you can so that you can learn from your mistakes and not make them again. So we're going to talk about the business model canvas. Can you let me know by typing a 2 in the chat if you've ever heard of the business model canvas before? I want to take a poll just to see who I'm talking to. Got some 2s. A lot of 2s.
Cool.
Okay, perfect. All right. Not as many 2s as entrepreneur, which is good. So then, we're teaching something fresh here. Oh, the 2s are still populated. Maybe there's a delay on the 2s. Okay, we have a lot of people here that know the business model canvas. A quick story is when I was launching one of my first companies, I had this business plan, and I had been working on this 72-page document, and it was exhaustive and it was exhausting, right? And I'm trying to get this business off the ground, and I'm confusing myself through trying to be as studious as possible to build this business plan. And I walk over to a few friends of mine in an office, and they had just got invested by the owner of the Celtics. And so, we looked up to these guys. What are you doing, right? And I looked in there and I see on the wall, it said business model canvas. And I'm an artist. And so I said, this doesn't look like a canvas that I've ever seen, right? So I asked them, what are you doing? There's a bunch of sticky notes. There's these gigantic blocks. There's 9 of them. And I said, what is going on here? And they said, you're working on a business plan. You're behind the curve here. We're on a business model canvas that shortens it, and no one's going to read your business plan. They're going to look at the 9 blocks and see, do you have a business model that works and that can be invested in? Changed my life. And so I'm so thankful to be here today to teach it. There's a guy, kind of famous. His name is Steve Blank. He said, no plan or no business plan survives first contact with customers. It's not about the plan. It's about the planning of the plan that gets you educated on what you're doing. And so I'm going to share my screen, and I'm going to show everyone in this room if Control L works, and it's not working. So I guess we'll keep it here. Can everyone see my screen? It was Control L, wasn't it?
You got to open it.
It isn't it? Ooh, perfect. There we go. All right, now we're efficient.
Yeah, sure.
You know what? You know what I have to do, Art? I got to actually share it. There we go. Perfect. All right, just a little delay.
Excuse us, folks. We're just sharing and unsharing.
Yeah, we're going to share and unshare.
We'll get it.
I think.
But I'm really impressed while Brandon works it out. I'm impressed with that enough people have actually heard of and are familiar with the business model canvas. In giving props to the developer of it, it's Alex Osterwalder. I probably didn't pronounce his name right, but he created this thing called the business model canvas. And I believe everyone was sent a copy of one. If not, I'm happy to if you want to contact me, I could send a copy out to you, or you could just look it up online.
This is not going. Let's see here. Let me try this one more time. All right. I think we got it. Did we get it? No, I don't think that's all right. I think everyone can see this.
Yep.
Let me see here. I have this other beautiful one there. All right. We're going to focus on this business model canvas because the other one is not showing up. Okay, so Steve Blank said that, no business plan survives first contact with customers. And so there's a reason for this, right? Once you meet a customer, everything you thought they would say isn't what they actually say. And so you have to pivot and iterate. And so there was a guy, his name was Alexander Osterwalder, and he is a philosopher, a business philosopher, and he came up with the idea of the business model canvas. And what this does is this takes the entire business, everything that Art was saying and Autumn was saying about their companies, the value propositions, who's their customers, all of that, relationships with the customers, and puts it into 9 blocks. And these are the building blocks of a business. And Osterwilder said, it doesn't matter where you start, I guess just as long as you finish. But for me, teaching the business model canvas, I teach to start in a few locations that are key to getting your business off the ground. And what we're going to do today is we're going to focus on 3 of the 9 blocks. But I'm going to give you an overview of all 9, and then we're going to focus on 3. And your homework today, or whenever you can, is to take your business idea and find a business model canvas online. It's totally free. And to populate this, your business model canvas, Art has sent you one in your email. Put your real business on here and see if you can create a business model that is interesting and, as Art said, unique. Okay, so let's start with what the canvas is. The canvas is a way to build out your business model. And a business model is essentially how your business provides and receives value. So this is going to organize how your business both provides and receives value as a company. And I always start at the problem. I kind of use this example. If I was bleeding here, Art, and you saw I was gushing blood and it was bad, right? Are you going to sit here and worry about anything else other than putting a bandage on my skin?
Triage.
Right, because I'm hurting, right? If I said, Art, I stubbed my toe, does that matter? It might hurt me, but you're not going to run around the room trying to find a Band-Aid. And I think that's how we should look at problems for customers. You, as a business owner, can find a problem that you think is really big. But the problem could be not as big as you think it is. And so when you think about a customer problem, and this is why we start with the value proposition, which is identifying what problem are you solving for a customer, you want to see, does the customer really need what I'm selling, or is it just something that they kind of need? And if it's a kind of need, then it's not a need that you should invest a lot of money in without testing, because you might have what I call a false positive. I think to CT Kids Passport, there's no greater need than a mom trying to figure out what to do with their kids. Mm-hmm. And so they're going to do everything in their power to figure out, how can I solve this problem? And when that comes into their feed, they're going to say, I don't care how much money it is, please take this pain away. I've exhausted every museum in the book. Right. I need more. Right. And so we always start with the value proposition. What problem are you solving? And then from there, you hop over to the customer segments aspect. And what you do here is you say, okay, I'm starting to develop an understanding of who has a problem that I am solving for. And then you use this customer segments block to begin to build a profile of your customer. And what I always say is you can stay here forever and write a book on your value proposition and your customer and all these different things. What you want to do, what I teach, is you want to have 2, 3 at most customer segments, 2 or 3 at most value propositions, and you want to see, how can I take out all the noise and get to what is most important for my customers, and it makes everything very, very usable and easy for you. And then once you figure out who your customers are, you want to get to the demographics and psychographics, where they are, who they are, and build this persona of your customer. Then you can hop over to your key activities, which identify what it is you do as a company, what you need to be experts in. Like if you're creating passports for kids, you probably need to be an expert in relationship building because your entire business is on the relationships that you build throughout the state and throughout the nation, that you say, I have enough passports to make this thing unique and sticky.
Right.
Because if you're not good at relationships and you can't get 700 people to your thing, it doesn't matter. You're going to have one thing up there and I don't care.
Right.
You need to have a great number of options. And from the key activities, you begin to get into things like, who do I have to partner with?
Right.
Partners are interesting. They could be investors. They could be, if you're in your type of business, they could be, I need to get museums as partners. I need to get, maybe you talked about the influencers as partners to
Yeah.
get the word out, to create
Yeah.
validity. And I'll tell you what, Connecticut has some powerful influencers, like you said. One of my friends, 10 million subs across platforms just in Connecticut, and he's all over the world.
Right.
And so you might have to have a key partner as an influencer. Maybe you're a products business and you need to have a distributor as a key partner that is getting your product in the stores. If you are a restaurant, you're going to need to have farmers as partners. You're going to need to have, different companies that are going to provide the food and the things that you need in order to run your business. And then you get down to your key resources, and key resources kind of blend in with your key partners. Let's see. Oh, I'm taking a lot of time. That's my fault. Okay, I'm going to stop there because I think you guys get the point. You guys can go through these 9 blocks yourself, and they're pretty self-explanatory. The most important aspect of this that I just want to leave you with, and I think because of time, I'm going to have to leave you with this, is your value proposition. Find a problem that people truly have and solve it. Don't waste your time on problems that you think people have because you're passionate about it. Because no one cares about your passion. They care about their needs.
Right.
And so you start with that in mind, and then you work from there. And I think if you can do that, you'll develop a great business that generates revenue for years to come.
Mm-hmm. Agreed.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. So I owe somebody a massive apology, and it happens to be Joanne Noto, who's calling in from Virginia, and she's part of our panel. And like I said, she's virtual, and she is also, believe it or not, folks, she is another post student.
Mm-hmm.
So this is really a post community. But Joanne is going to sort of talk a little bit about her experience. She also has a couple of businesses that she's running right now. And of course, she's a post student currently. And then she's going to summarize some important key takeaways, things that you could put sort of in your toolkit. But I can't emphasize enough, and I think you can hear from all of us, the importance of organizing your thoughts. And that business model canvas does a really neat job in a very simple way. You'll be able to type in different blocks and change it and erase it and modify it as your business evolves. But it's a nice way to get started. So let me bring in, if I can, Joanne Noto. And here she is. There she is, Joanne. Hello and hello. I apologize for not mentioning your name earlier today, but here you are, although you look like you're jumping around on your screen there. There you go. Now we got you.
Sorry
Can we
about
hear
that.
you? That's okay.
All right. So there is one thing I do have to tap to you guys real quick. Part of this was, of course, a benefit of the accounting club. We have a lovely e-board with Tyra and Cynthia and Dr. Dumont and Professor Jacinto. Sorry, I was running from the car. But everything they just shared with you guys, I will share too. I've got a business as a visitor pass for hospitals. And that came from a need that I saw when people would come in and they'd want to visit their families. And the visitor passes that were set up in the hospital weren't very simple. And then you'd end up sitting out there and waiting 10, 15 minutes, never knowing about your family member. So that was my big one. Now, of course, everyone knows my themed restaurant. I've mentioned it once or twice, but that I started out of love. But here's the model that I started with. It's always called the 3 square model. And you've heard a lot of it already. It's 3 questions, 3 words of advice, 3 pieces of advice, and 3 lessons I wish everyone knew. Now, the 3 questions you've heard a few times. Amber's mentioned it, and the 2 other gentlemen have mentioned it. Who is your customer and what problem am I solving for them? Can I afford to survive if the business takes longer than expected to become profitable? What makes my business different from everyone else offering something similar? Those are the 3 questions that guide you. 3 words of advice: plan, adapt, and persist. A good business starts with a solid plan, not just a great idea. Be willing to change as your customers and market evolve. Success rarely happens overnight. Consistency wins. The 3 pieces of advice: start before you feel completely ready. A journey starts with a single step. You'll learn more by doing than by waiting for everything to be perfect. Protect your finances. Keep business and personal finances separate from day one. And know your numbers. Build relationships, not just sales. Loyal customers and a strong network are often your greatest assets, and you've heard it from all of the people on the panel. Without relationships, you're going to go nowhere. And 3 lessons I wish everyone knew. Don't fall in love with the product. Fall in love with solving the problem. Cash flow is more important than looking successful. Your reputation is your most valuable investment. Protect it every day.
That's
Good
really
advice. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. So, folks, look, we're just coming up to the end here, and I can't thank you enough for taking time out of your day to join with us here. And being an educator, I have to ask this question. On that chat, could you guys start populating some of the things that you've learned? What are some of the highlights that you're going to take away from this meeting? Let's reinforce what we just learned. Is it just the business model canvas? Is it understanding the value proposition? Is it understanding the pain, or what problem are you solving? Finance person, cash is king. Thank you.
Mhm.
Well said. Understanding the pain. Nicole, that's probably one of the near the top of the list. Understanding what the customer, what do they want? Status? Do they want cheap? Do
Mhm.
they want fast? What's the problem? Darn, if you get that, you are way down the road. You got it. My passion, understanding the pain. Yeah, sure. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you need to figure out, minimal viable startup. Yeah. Don't get attached. Yeah. Keep on going, guys.
Mhm.
You guys are well down the road here.
USP.
USP, thank you. What's your unique selling power?
Mhm.
Free popcorn in my place. That's what did it. Right? Unique sell power. Yes, yes, yes. Balance it. As you guys please continue. We always charged over. We charge more than the competition. Not because we had better gas or because we had better movies. It was because we understood the pain. Adaptable, 100%, Lakeisha, 100%. USP. If you keep on saying USP, people think you're gonna have dyslexia. Is it UPS? No,
You're gonna
it's
be shipped away.
It's USP. You
Build
got it.
relationships. That's key.
Yeah, love it, love it.
And I think like Savannah, she's saying fail first to learn from your mistakes. I can't tell you how many people told me no. Like,
Mhm.
no, thank you. I'm not interested. No, this isn't in my marketing plan. I get excited for the no's because that means I'm super close to the next yes. So I think you guys like starting a business is very scary. But I think once you accept that, like, it's okay to have a no and it's okay for someone to not agree with what you're doing, keep moving.
But that's
'cause
a
you're that-
true entrepreneur. Right
You are
there.
like so much closer.
Yeah.
So much closer.
I love it.
Yep.
Guys, we want to respect everybody's time, and I'm going to leave you with one thought, and it's something you're going to want to think about as it may apply to your business. Most of us, probably all of us, have gone to Amazon.com. Most of us, maybe all of us, have put something in the shopping cart. Amazon has not made a nickel until you say buy now.
Mhm.
So a lot of people go to your website. A lot of people could ask for information. A lot of people could talk to you on the phone, whatever level of communication. But until they say buy now, ain't nothing happening in terms of money deposit into your account. So think about what does it take to push that, convince, motivate, persuade that potential customer into actually, doing business with you. And from all the things that we're reading here, when you get that knowledge on your customer, recognize your audience, you guys are killing it. Once you get that, the rest is easy. They want fancy, give them fancy. They want cheap, give them cheap. Does it make sense? Like Brandon said, you have a business that could survive at a low discount rate, or do you need to be a premium? What do they want that goes along with the premium? To finish this up, I always say 3 no's and 3 very good as hell. I love that, right? So look, you guys know how to get a hold of us. I hope. If not, we could use Nicole, through her office. If anyone needs a copy of the canvas, if anyone would like, I'm going to say something I probably thought I wasn't going to say. If anyone would like any one of us to look at their business model canvas, I'd offer my service just to look at it and give you some honest, I can only promise honest, brutally honest feedback. I'm not going to, that's awesome. Isn't it great? I'm going to tell you what I think, right or wrong, good or bad.
Mhm.
If you're interested, I will give you my honest, brutal opinion, and you can
Yeah,
take it
Nicole
from there.
has our addresses.
Yeah.
I'm sure you
Yeah.
can email any one of us. I mean, Brandon too.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
I made a life looking at those things.
Yeah.
Right.
And I think it's unique when you have different people. Like I'm a different business than
Right.
what you are, and then to what Art is. So to get different perspectives from different people,
Yep.
I may see something that
Right.
Brandon and Art may not.
Yep.
So
Right.
it's always nice to, obviously keep things private.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Well, yeah,
before
for sure.
that is happening. But for the people and the resources around you that want to help you, get the resources.
Yeah.
Let us.
Right.
Help.
It will be honest, but it's better to have a bruised ego than an empty bank account. So,
Yeah.
Right.
if people are honest, it might hurt a little bit, but it's just
But that
it's just
one
good for you.
change could
Yeah.
be
100%.
going to be different. So
So guys, we're just seeing a lot of thank yous, but from our perspective here,
Thank
the 4 of us really thank you for taking the
Yes.
time, for trusting us to at least invest an hour of your time, and hopefully there's something here that you could apply to your business to make it better than it would have been had you not joined us.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Thank you guys, and really just good luck. The best of luck to you guys.
Yep.
thank you.
Yep.
Thank
Thank
you
you.
all.
Thank you.
Thank you, Art, Autumn, and Brandon. Thank you, everyone who attended. We hope you have a great rest of your evening, and watch your emails. We will send out a follow-up email. Have a great night, everyone. Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
See you all later.